Everyone knows the real cool girls get divorced before 30.
If I was somebody that got divorced in general, I would say it's cool because I would be so miserable.
Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30.
If you get divorced, there should be a rule that you can't get married for like 5 years.
What do you want to teach your kids? Do you want to teach them to put up with things simply for the betterment of someone else? And at the end of the day, is it for the betterment of your children if you're unhappy?
I don't necessarily disagree with her. The way that she expressed it, I think, was terrible.
Girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game.
That mean you kiss your kid. All right, guys. People have been complaining about Mia Khalifa. I don't know if you guys know who she is. Let me just quickly Google her. And then I'll show you a couple of the things that pop up. Okay, I'm not going to show you any of the things that popped up. If you don't know, then you don't know. So anyway, I guess she's getting divorced or something, and then she's been on a tear about how divorce is actually awesome or something like that. Everybody's been complaining about it. I'm a little bit curious.
Okay.
So here we go. Let's start off with this one.
Cool girl engagement.
That's not a thing. Everyone knows the real cool girls get divorced before 30.
Okay, cool girl.
I guess that's where it starts. Me personally, I think that it might be a little bit of a cope. But if I was somebody that got divorced in general, I would say it's cool because I would be so miserable with my life, because that's so sad. You know what I mean? Like, what a sad thing to happen. And it could happen to anybody. You know, you either fall in love and then you grow apart, or you're never in love and you listen too much to what society said about having to fall in love. So you forced it. Because if you're looking for something, you'll find it, but not necessarily in its purest form. So let's go to the next one.
Oh, we're comparing stats, baby.
It says facts. Married at 18, divorced at 20. Wow. That is impressive.
Girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game.
That mean you kiss your kid? Wait. Did he kiss his kid? Oh, he kisses him on the lips. That's weird. You can't be doing that. That's disgusting.
Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage.
That's fair. You should not be afraid to leave people. I totally understand that. I get that. But you also should not be bragging about making tons of bad choices. I understand listen, you get married once, it doesn't work out. I get it. Maybe I'll give you the second time you thought you got it. I get it. At that point, you should just not be allowed to get married anymore. It should be illegal to be able to get a third marriage. Because what are you doing at this point? You're just wasting everybody's time. What are you doing? How do you make that many mistakes? There should be, if you get divorced, there should be a rule that you can't get married for like 5 years. That's the rule. That's the law that we're implementing in there. Why? Why not? Okay. What are you doing? It's crazy to me.
Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It's
supposed to be
paperwork. It's something. It's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go. You have to go.
I think the real question is, what are you trying to get from it? Because some people are seeing in my chat that Mia Khalifa is cool and they like her TikTok, and I think that's great. But I personally, listen, I'm not a P star. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it, mostly because I have a small penis. But I've had a good amount of casual encounters before. You know, I was a dog in my days. And I do feel like doing that much it makes it difficult to be in a fully committed relationship. You know, it takes some effort. I used to be poly, and my wife and I have absolutely shifted the dynamic of our relationship dramatically. But you know, once you kind of get into that lifestyle, it can be a little different. It can be a little difficult to get your shit together. You know, and that's why I have a VR headset, because it works. It's pretty cool. Okay. Sometimes my wife says I talk out loud too much, and I'm okay with it, because that's why you're here. Okay.
I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your fucking life. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Period. Do you want to be stuck with someone?
Yeah, I want to be stuck with my wife.
Oh my God, of course it's not.
It's not the same if you have
Not
kids.
easy if you have kids, but what do you want to teach your kids? Do you want to teach them to put up with things simply for the betterment of someone else? And at the end of the day, is it for the betterment of your children if you're unhappy?
I don't necessarily disagree with her. The way that she expressed it, I think, was terrible. Do you want to teach your kids that it's okay to put up with something for the betterment of someone else? Yes. I want to teach my kids fundamentally that sometimes they have to put themselves aside for the greater good of another person. 1000%, yes. However, I will kind of agree in a different case, and this is that. I understand staying together for your kids. It makes perfect sense. I also think that there should be a conversation about not staying together for your kids, because I don't think it's positive for your kids, like what she was alluding to. I think that if you are in an unhappy marriage, that there's no way that you can hide it. You can't put a facade on forever. You're not going to be able to hide it, and you're going to teach your kids that they're going to perceive your marriage as working, and you're going to teach them, you're going to teach them that they have to be miserable to be married in some capacity. And that, to me, it makes it seem, to me, I think you're teaching your kid that they're going to find somebody, they're not going to be truly happy or truly in love, and they're going to marry that person because they think that's how things should be, instead of taking a little extra time and finding somebody that they actually love. Okay? That's my thing. So I would say, like, don't just stay. I think that we should try to normalize getting amicable divorces where maybe you even live together still, but you understand that, like, you're not married. I think that that's a good idea. So I wouldn't really say to stay together for your kids. But the problem is so many people will divorce and then they will hate each other and they will just attack each other and they'll use their kids as a bargaining chip and they'll try to get their kids to like them more and they'll talk shit about the other parent. And it's so unhealthy. And I feel like that's too much of what divorce is. And I would say that there needs to be a way to come together and just be better about the potential of getting divorced if you happen to get divorced in the first place, and raising your kids together in like a loving home. Right? That's what, and I think that the cycle repeats itself. Being in a miserable marriage is just going to cause your kids to be in a miserable marriage. And as divorce becomes more normalized and accepted, you're going to see more divorces because their kids learn to be miserable in a marriage. And now they're like, wow, this is miserable. And then they're going to start thinking that they are inadequate because why are my parents in love, but I'm not? And then they're going to realize eventually that they never really loved each other, because like half your parents, if you go and you talk to them and you ask them, they're going to tell you that they cheated on their fucking spouse and that they used to have like a side loving relationship. It's insane, some of the things that you will hear from your older relatives. It's fucking wild. Okay, so not me though, but just saying, there's a lot of crazy shit that's going on.
Make the circle, make a circle.
Trying to fight the Aquarius allegations, but okay, this is just random.
Excuse
Not about the paperwork. Not everyone has the luxury that you do because you have money. Not only is marriage far-fetched because of expenses divorce. Not only is marriage far-fetched because of expenses. Okay, they're just talking about how it's expensive, but okay.
me? Baby girl, divorce is expensive for everybody, especially
True.
if you're the one who has to pay the alimony to the
But if you have a ton of money, it's not as proportionately expensive, right? It's not just about raw money. It's about like how much money you have, right? Like $1,000 to somebody with $10,000 is a lot more than $10,000 to somebody that has $1 million, right? So
broke ass bum. What you are saying with this statement
hey, she's paying alimony. That's feminist. Women can pay alimony too.
is that you personally would sacrifice your independence and your freedom and your peace of mind and your happiness for a little financial stability?
This here is the most disconnected thing that I've ever heard. Yes, people will sacrifice parts of themselves for money because money is literally everything. Money is a lot. Money is a representation of your value of your work and your labor and your ability to live. Like, I understand people like I just went on a tear about how people should get divorced amicably to raise their kids and be comfortable and all that. But at the end of the day, to stay together for financial reasons also makes sense because it's hard out there, bro. It's not easy out there. So for her to mock somebody, oh, you're going to stay together for money? Money is everything. You have so much of it. You don't understand money because you're a baby. You're a fucking baby. Okay? That's what it comes down to. I hate when people like, you go, oh, it's just money. I don't have it. I need it. It's not just money. That's buying food. Look at how fat I am. I need it. Okay?
At what price?
Advice for future married people: shared or separate finances. A little bit of both, I think, is reasonable.
At what cost? To me, that seems way more expensive than, I don't know, a couple $1,000s to break up. What? Like,
bro, you were just so privileged.
Y'all really got to stop conditioning yourselves to feel like you can't take care of yourself. Okay. You are not at the whims of these men. You can leave and start.
It's so weird that this has become like an anti-male movement. I hate it. It's so annoying. Like, this is a conversation about divorce has gone anti-male. You don't have to be with these men. You just don't have to be with a partner that you're not comfortable with. It's not about if it's a man, a woman, a non-binary person. It doesn't matter what the person is. This doesn't have to be a gendered conversation. I find it's such a victim complex. Like, I understand that people have like issues. Like, there are women and there are men that have issues like with the way that they are treated in society. I understand that. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that the way that society treats men and women can have a negative impact on either of those groups. I'm fine with that. But I just hate it when people are just like, oh, women. Like, just stop it. Just stop it. You said you stopped engaging in porn. Stop jerking your audience off. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, how much more can you just beat my fucking skull in with a bat, you know?
Start your own life. You should leave and start your own life if you're not happy with everything. Everything should meet your standards. Otherwise, get the fuck out.
Also, I don't agree with that. Like, it's called compromise. Like, everything should meet your standards that you are not willing to compromise. There are particular standards that you're going to have. But like, with my wife, I've compromised some things. My wife's compromised some things. And it's not a negative experience to compromise on things as long as it's worth it in the arrangement. But of course, I mean, we're not going to get a nuanced take from her. But all right, so that was that. Then we have her in a dress, and then in love with the champagne colored dress. I like that.
I'm a teenage mutant ninja turtle, but which one could turn you into Squirtle?
Shout out to that content creator.
Do you know how I
used 100,000 miles, 23 owners? What does that mean? Oh, that she doesn't have a lot of mileage. I would say that's not a lot of mileage. That's not that bad, but she's got a lot of owners, which means that there might be something wrong with the car. I get what they're saying now. Okay.
I know that people who make comments like these are absolute virgin incels.
Well, but also your advice is not the best. You're not exactly communicating to the rest of us, especially once you said money don't matter. I mean, you're rich. Of course it matters. Of course it doesn't matter to you because you have too much of it. But, you know, it is also, I guess, an incelish comment. But I'm going to forgive that comment from them because are they eating, though? You know? That's all I'm saying.
Because 23 people over 10 years, I'm 30, is 2.5 people a year.
I mean, first of all, I've never been owned before, but that's about my body count. But I'm pretty sure she's had more than 23 people. And maybe I'm wrong, you know? But whatever.
Do you know?
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Actually,
drop your skincare routine. No, this is a 4-minute video. Let's see.
Getting them wet right now.
No, thank you. What?
Nighttime skincare routine. Doing water. My eyelash extensions are on their wit's end, so I don't really care about getting them wet right now.
Okay.
What are they gonna go?
Oh my God, can you have a hair routine too? Oh, we don't need that. We don't need that.
We should.
Okay, here we go. This is the other one. I knew there was one more, so don't yell at me. Okay, this is another one that she has. I think it's the last one. So let's check it out.
Not be afraid to leave these men.
Yeah,
I woke up to 30,000 unalive and grape threats on Twitter today over that take.
Whoa!
And I'm
is that true? Or
really failing to see what's wrong with it. I'm failing to see what's wrong.
Well, I don't think that those threats are good. That's what I see. That's wrong with that.
In telling young women who get married young that if they are in relationships that are unhealthy and toxic and make them unhappy, that just because they made a commitment.
Oh, her secret is fermented semen. I'm going to try it out.
They are not stuck in these relationships. The only people who are mad, it seems like to me, are the men who are the toxic ones in these relationships and who are afraid of their women having self-realization and exercising free will.
You know, here's my thing. I think that it's a porn star talking about relationships, bragging about different people are going to pick up different things from different things that they watch, right? There might be some people who pick up the idea like, oh, don't stay in a relationship, you're miserable. I could see how you'd get that. I get some of that too. I think I've been very unbiased here. I also get you're bragging about 3 marriages or divorces. And and that maybe you're not like, it's a little, I get why people would have an adverse reaction. Now the toxic threats to that degree are a little crazy. But I think that there's a lot of messages getting fired and different people are picking up on different things. And then there's also disproportionate responses, like people telling her that she should take her own life and all. That's obviously like terrible, disproportionate, like insane response from like some stupid little baby. But, you know, it was more than just that. You were, it's, to me, it comes off as you're like bragging about a bunch of divorces. You don't really know what the hell you're talking about.
And leaving them. Because the only thing holding their relationships together is probably the fact that they made a commitment.
And then also part of it when she said money doesn't matter, like she's just living in a delusional, like rich fantasy world because money does matter, and it's hard to understand everybody's specific examples or experiences.
Their religion and families fucking perpetuate that ideal that you have to stay in a relationship you committed to. You don't. Okay. If you're unhappy, get the fuck out of there.
Okay. I would say if you're unhappy, depending on how long you've been together for, you maybe see like a counselor and maybe you could work through some of those things. Because if you were happy at one point, maybe you could get back there. But sometimes you do need to get divorced. Overall, the message was like decent, half good. Half of it was also a little bit, a little wonky. It comes from like a porn star, which is probably not somebody that you're going to go to when it comes to relationship commitment advice. And I think that's where most of the frustration and anger is coming from. So yeah, okay, cool beans.